We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
I did. Oh, wow! Right on the tip, just on the tip.
And Blab. Co-hosted by our friends from around the internet.
There is a portion of Norway where it is legally required to carry a firearm at all times.
If you're just a normal man looking for common sense in this crazy-ass world, you've come to the right place. And now, broadcasting from our homes from around the internet, it's time for Side Scrollers.
Okay, you ready? Open wide!
Welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and, of course, SideScrollersPodcast.com. Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you. Hi. I'm Stuttering Craig. Here we are. Man, do we got a good show today. We have so much to talk about. As always, I'm glad you're with us. And as always, joining us here on this wonderful Tuesday, it's a day ending with a Y. It's Blabs. Hello.
Hi, I was trying to think of but every single day ends with Y. I don't understand that statement. That's just like every single day, all day, every day.
That's right, Blabs.
Thank you. Anyway, hi guys.
Good to see you. How's everything going this morning?
It's going good, guys. We're cooking something up behind the scenes and it's kind of funny and I'm excited for it. Just saying.
And we'll just call us Chef Side Scrollers. It's going to be side dishes before it's all said and done. It's going to be good to go.
I actually want to see Craig cook something because I feel like he'll drop something on himself.
Oh no, I'm a pretty good cooker. I cooked this weekend twice.
I'm a good cooker.
Yeah, I'm a good cooker. I'm not a chef.
You're not in English either.
Nope, I'm a good cook, man.
I'm a good cooker.
I'm a good cook. Let's get my sweet.
Oh, pink. Everybody's in pink today.
That's what I've been going on the last little bit. You know who's not in pink? RazörFist.
How do you know? He's in monochrome.
Exactly. I exist outside the concept of color.
That's right. It's all a wonderful spectrum.
Right.
Well, that's
Craig,
right.
even if you're not a chef, I'm sure you toss a mean salad.
Oh, shut your mouth. Burn.
Want some ice, bro? Should have gotten my ice pack from yesterday.
Yeah. Well, here we are, man. Good to see everybody. We have a lot to talk about. A brand new PlayStation was announced today. We had a noticeable death in the world of entertainment. We had, and I'll tell you what, man. We're going to talk Ubisoft at the tail end of the show. And they are on life support, right? For being $1 billion company, they are on life support. It's crazy. But yeah, we got a lot going on. And of course, we're going to be joined by Uwe Boll here in about 25 minutes. Razor, you ready for that?
As I'm going to be.
Yeah. Do you...
Ooh, look at his thing. Look how nice that is. Show it to the camera. No, bring it back. Look how nice that is.
It sounds like a damn monkey over there, but
it's shiny. Shut up. Listen, I like the shiny stuff. It's in monochrome, and I'm assuming it's some type of pewter or metal.
It's metal. It's like shell casing.
Cool. Look at that.
Yeah.
No, shell casing. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's just the outside. It's not fully like melded and everything by shell cases, right? That's just like the.
Well, that would be leaks, bro. And then
No. That's why you meld it together. You
meld.
Yeah, I'm actually drinking gunpowder right now, Craig. Actually, it's good you could crack that code.
Razor.
What the hell is the word meld? That's not a word, Craig.
Meld is a word.
Meld.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No.
I actually get Keurigs full of gunpowder. That's what it is, actually.
Oh, look at that. Blend or combine, a thing formed by merging or blending. You don't blend freaking metal together. You'll weld it.
Okay, Blabs. But you do combine it, ultimately melding it together. Correct. That's right. Good. Thank you, Blabs. Appreciate that. Look, we got a great show today. We got a lot going on. I'm glad everybody's joined us. Razor, how is everything going with you, man?
Fantastic. I'm getting ready to put out a video on that's very, very germane to some of the topics we're going to talk about today. We talked about Concord last week. I didn't even get to properly go into it. I'm also going to talk about the stupid black monkey game, whatever, Chinese monkey game.
Yep, Black Myth Wukong.
So I got a video coming up for that and a video game review and a bunch of stuff. So I got a lot of irons in the fire, as it were.
Do you know I'm rich?
Whoa! Whoa, dollar bill, y'all.
Let's go.
Has them from last week.
Just get
Every
them
time
right
you do that, the opening to Jay-Z's Big Pimpin' needs to start playing.
there.
Can we get Craig a pimp suit?
Oh my God! Listen, if you want somebody to be really upset about cultural appropriation, I would gladly do Halloween in a pimp suit. But I thought we were going to go as the modern audience this
We
year.
are.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, did you know that? What day is it again? It's not on a Thursday.
It is a Thursday
Halloween?
this year, I believe. Yes.
Okay, so RazörFist won't be with us this year for Halloween.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna have to do the 31st.
What are you planning to have me killed?
Well, you're here on Tuesdays, but if you'd like that, I could arrange it.
We're gonna give you the old James Earl Jones goodbye. We're gonna.
Hey,
Man,
let's do a quick glance here real fast and see how rich I am based off my $40 investment. Now around anywhere between $90, which is, I would say, low on the totem pole, and all the way up to us. So we're clearing 100 consistently here. We got the controller for 323. So, I'm feeling pretty good about my investment, but I do feel like I
could
probably
almost like fill a single bag of groceries.
right. I can almost see my family for half a week. It's great. But with that said, I think I probably need to get rid of it sooner than later because I don't know if its market will be there in a week, a month, or 2 months.
no, you're actually gonna sell it.
I don't know. Why would I
Yeah,
not
keep one.
keep one?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Because
Hold
think
on,
about
I
it.
got a hellhound barking outside. I'll be right back.
sure. Do your thing. Absolutely. Well, look, we got a lot going on today. I'd like to remind everybody we are live over at Rumble as well. You can follow us over there as we continue to grow a little bit more every single day, which is awesome. We love Rumble. It's great. Currently sitting at a sweet, let me pull up our exact number here. Our exact number, 8,270 followers over there. As we continue to grow, we're beefing up on 10,000 over there. That's great. Speaking of growing, man, we are within 5,000 subscribers over here on YouTube of 100,000 normal men, currently sitting at 95,080 normal men right now. So we're closing in. We're in the stretch run here. So let other normal men know what we got going on over here because, hey, we got a little common sense, which is great. You can also follow us over on X. And, of course, we have an Instagram, don't we, Blabs?
We do. So follow us for memes and clips with the show. Otherwise, RazörFist is gonna bonk you on the head with his metal glass.
Yes, exactly.
It's bullet glass over
Could
there.
have had a V8.
It's got a gun handle.
Yeah, no,
on it.
I'm
It's got a
looking
gun
at that. That is
grip.
cool, dude.
Where'd you get that?
Yeah.
It was a gift actually from this last Christmas. So
Was it from Wham?
from Wham.
Yeah, at least
What am I on a first name basis with George Michael? What did we meet in a bathroom stall? What?
Yeah.
All right.
I like how Wham is just George Michael and other guy.
Yeah.
Like no one knows other guy. I don't know other guy's name.
Agreed. Question, chat. Who is other guy in Wham? Anybody. Just throw it out there. Anybody can get it.
Is his name also George? That'd be
Michael
so
something,
easy.
I think.
Wait, he's also named George Michael and Michael?
Michael George Michael going
I got to be honest. I'm
Michael
mostly making
Sam.
this up.
George
Andrew
Michael.
Ridgely.
God
We'll go
damn
with
it.
that. We'll go with that. Sounds good. Andrew Ridgely and George Michael.
Andrew! Okay.
Yeah. Way to go, Blabs.
I was Googling the same time you said it. Shut up.
Well, the chat said it, and I just repeated it.
Well, I actually researched.
Yes. No, incorrect. It was not Michael Jackson, Dylan. That would have been quite the story if Michael Jackson was the second half of Wham.
Right.
Well,
That
look.
would have, can you imagine, though, like the power of the two voices together? That would have been awesome.
Pretty spectacular,
Hmm?
but it didn't happen. It won't happen because one of them's dead, unfortunately.
They're
are
both
Are
dead.
they both dead? Is George Michael dead?
Dead.
They're
Craig.
both dead?
They're both dead.
What did you do?
I didn't.
Blabs.
You don't know that George Michael's dead. He literally died.
Well, of course, everyone knows George Michael is dead, but other guy? Not
Michael
other guy.
Jackson. We're talking about. RazörFist is lost. We're talking about Michael Jackson. He's like,
Oh.
he's dead.
There we are. Not
Yeah.
other guy.
George Michael.
We just
died in
learned his
1960.
name. We can't lose other guy now.
Hey,
Still alive?
I don't know if you guys heard. Ivan Reitman is also dead.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
just want to give you a heads up on that. I learned that.
Guys, Andrew is
That's
still
hilarious.
alive. He was born in 1963. He's currently 61 years old and thriving. It's okay. We have half a WHAM.
Thriving. Let that press X to doubt, but okay.
Thriving is
We
relative.
need a citation needed on that Wikipedia article.
Oh man. Well, hey, I want to remind you guys, we had a pretty big announcement yesterday as we announced that a brand new documentary or a documentary about GoldenEye called Golden Era will be available starting on Monday exclusively for supporters over at sidescrollerspodcast.com. So make sure you guys go over there. And if you want to support us, it's also a great way to, that's like the bigger goal with it, is to provide more than just our extra content, right? We want it to be a hub for awesome stuff for you guys. So that is the first piece right there. Golden Era premieres next Monday. So head over there, become a supporter. And on top of that, we have a sweet little promo code for you guys. Use promo code GOLDEN for $27 off. Why $27 off, Labs?
Because it came out, I was typing, because it came out in 1997, so it's currently 27 years old.
That's right. So $27 off for an annual membership over at sidescrollerspodcast.com. You'll also get access to everything else we're going to be doing throughout the year, which will be a lot. So consider supporting over there.
Our mug club has a gun grip on it.
Oh, man, let's go. I thought about offering some sort of physical product, but Mug Club is very
What, like
catchy.
fentanyl?
Was going to move away from that, but
Stress
We'll
boob.
do the whole fentanyl shuffle away from that idea.
a stress boob, Labs.
Yeah, like the little stress balls, but you make it a boob and you're normal men.
I'm writing it down.
You can have the Side Scrollers logo on it.
Ooh, Snuggie. A Snuggie.
They just call it Boob Club.
Labs doesn't know what the Snuggie is.
You mean the giant thing that you put yourself in?
Yeah. The Jedi.
Yeah.
You realize it's just a backwards Jedi robe, right?
Yeah. That is true.
Drove me crazy when I realized that.
I want to be a Jedi.
All right.
Of course you do, Labs.
Yeah, I got the lightsaber already. I'm halfway there.
Well, look, we got Uwe Boll coming up here in about 20 minutes, 15 or 20 minutes or so, right? So in the meantime, we're going to talk a little PlayStation 5 Pro, but we also have some super chats to get you right after that. Thank you guys very much. As Jonathan says, I just got done laughing at the PS5 Pro price. Yeah, we'll get to that very shortly. Norm came in, says today is a meeting in the Vines, if like no other. Needless to say, I'm looking forward to today's show. Thanks, Norm. Appreciate that. Will be very exciting to see. Vimarain says, hi, Razor and Side Scrollers. Trying to get Mahler on the show as soon as possible. He finished Star Wars Outlaws on Sunday, and it was hilarious. You have no idea how bad the game is in every way. I'd love to have Mahler on the show. Hear great things about him. The Worthy One says, hey, Craig, you got to try Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA beer. It's actually not bad. Steve might be onto something. I don't like beer. I don't like beer at all.
You might be onto something like wife beating.
Ooh.
We could sell tank tops, a wife beater tank top shirt.
That's just going crazy.
Yes.
Captain Yolo says today is the 30th anniversary of the iconic 3D animated cartoon reboot. Can't wait for the 8-part documentary on it is fully out on YouTube by mid to late October. Let's go, Side Scrollers. Let's go, Captain Yolo. Well, hopefully you enjoy that, man. Uriah says Razor show off Cicero on camera. Like
he's a big boy, and I'd have to bring him over here.
You like how people just demand, you better show off Cicero.
Right?
Go get him. Norm came back.
He'll maul us eventually before the end of the stream, I'm sure.
Norm says Craig should use a copy of Concord as a trophy for the worst game of the year category for the Real Game Awards. It should become the gaming version of the Stanley Cup. Let's go. Speaking of the Real Game Awards, I'll have a post up there later today on the website for all voting members, which would be great. Orthodox Monk says, turn the sold items filter option when you look up Concord prices to actually see sold ones, goofball Craig. Yes, thank you very much. Appreciate that. That has been an ongoing thing. Orthodox Monks also came back, says John McCain is also dead. I know because Razor has been a dance every day for 6 years straight. Been a dance. Okay.
I became a dance.
Okay.
The Razor dance.
I am one. I'm the Lord of the dance.
It's good. AC also is a brand new member. Thank you so much for your monthly support. That's spectacular. Norm wants everybody to know that George Washington is indeed dead. Thank you for that.
What color was George Washington's white horse?
Well, you said it was
Caucasian.
Yes. Why are you so racist, Labs? It's ridiculous.
Right? What color was the white?
Are racist.
Yeah.
We have a clip of that.
Absolutely, we do. 100%.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So look, let's get into it, Blabs. We see all your super chats, all your direct donations, all your Rumble rants. We're going to get to those all today throughout the show. But first, let's get to today in video game history.
Okie dokie. September 10th, we have The King of Dragons releasing back in 1991. We have Echo the Dolphin, the Defender of the Future, releasing back in 2000 on the Dreamcast. And then we have Tales of Destiny 2 releasing back in 2001. Ta-da!
It looks like it was released in 2001.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah, it does have a very 2001 look to it, doesn't it? So, okay, Blabs, you really shit the bed today. in a
Clean
major
up
way.
all
King of Dragons is no joke. It's a great game. So's Echo, although that's the Dreamcast port.
Hold on. Echo is a good game, Razor?
I love Echo on the Genesis. It's a great
Are you
game.
serious?
It's a
You
great
can
game.
suck my dick
Oh
now,
my
Craig. Ha.
god, no. Blabs, hold on. No.
I was right.
I'm not sucking
What are you,
anything.
part Japanese? You hate dolphins? What's wrong with you?
I've never understood Echo the Dolphins. I never understood it. I just don't like, what about Echo the Dolphin is good?
It's
What about
literally
Good graphics, pretty good control. I like the gameplay. Levels are kind of cool. It's sort of, I mean, granted, it's kind of like one giant Super Mario 3 water level, but it's better than that, right? You can swim around a lot faster. I love Echo.
See, everyone
yeah,
in
great
the chat
music,
saying
too.
it's great too. So this is just a normal Craig L.
I don't know. No.
I think you're an abnormal man, Craig.
No, I don't think so at all. I think that if you were to put a poll out, I think most people would say that Echo the Dolphin was
I
incredibly,
will not be doing that because there's already a poll that says have a poll.
incredibly overrated game. Like, it's thought of as a classic. I don't get it. I've never understood it. But either way, game that you did miss today, Blabs. Super Mario Maker.
Nah, that's
Yeah.
tomorrow.
No, I got it as 9 years ago today in Japan.
Yeah, I'm using tomorrow because that's tomorrow is actually the rest of the world. So
Yeah. The civilizations that matter. Yes.
Mm.
I wouldn't say that, bro. But I'm just saying I'm using North America tomorrow.
Let's see. Okay.
Ha!
All right. Okay. All right,
I'm ahead of you.
Yeah, you are.
Is that
All right,
Pyramid
well,
Head? Where did I see that?
Rare Blabs W for change.
Oh my god.
I don't know about that. Anyways, okay. Well, there you go. Oh, you know what? You know what's interesting though? There is a game that's being released today for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Razor, have you heard about this new Rugrats game?
No.
Okay, so this game is based off of obviously the old school cartoon. It's being released today, and in this game, you can
Striking while the iron is hot.
right. Okay, so it's a platforming game, and let me pull a video of this because I think you're really going to think this is actually pretty cool. They're releasing it on Steam and on all the modern stuff, while still, I believe, having an NES cart. Which, yes, we're talking about the NES, the actual NES game. So here we go. Here's gameplay of Rugrats Adventures in Game Land. Here, you can play, yes, the actual characters. This is the obviously modern version, but you can go between.
How does an NES play this? Oh, I see.
Yeah, so it has actual NES, like an NES mode, and then a regular mode. And apparently, it's available for the NES as well. That's just what I've heard. So I love the idea of going back and forth between the graphic styles. But yeah, I mean, if you're into this type of game, or at least something that hasn't really been relevant in a long time, at least Rugrats.
Right.
Did they bring Rugrats back a few years ago?
They tried to, didn't really take off. This is kind of a weird one because what small child is going to own an NES, right? What small child is going to remember Rugrats because they rebooted it and it wasn't terribly successful.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, I don't know. You're kind of marketing a children's game to 40-year-olds.
You got a point.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it looks visually very cool.
It is very cool. I mean, like, weren't the Rugrats people the same kind of, they came from the same group of animators that did Simpsons?
Was it the same group?
I think so. There was some drama around that. They kind of, Rugrats was kind of, there was some debate over what the show should look like. I forget exactly what happened, but there was some kind of baby mama drama around that.
Rugrats lore. I didn't think we
Yes,
could get into that today.
lore.
Yeah. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
34 of the second age.
Oh, that's scary as shit. I'm not gonna lie. That is a scary
Yeah, that's
looking
pretty.
boss.
That'll replace the whale in my nightmares.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, anyways, that game came out today. Rugrats Adventure in Gameland. If you're looking for a sweet modern game for yesterday's audience, you got it, which is good. All right. So, like I said, we got Uwe Boll coming up in about 5 minutes. So that'll give us enough time to get into today's my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for hard news. Okay, Razor, the big news this morning dropped just a little bit ago. The PlayStation 5 Pro was announced. Did you know this was a thing, and do you think it's necessary?
Can you be a pro if you were never an amateur?
You know, Blabs, on that point, will you bring up the first-party PlayStation 5 games, please, just for reference? Because I'm curious.
Yeah, do you have a picture of a blank screen, Blab?
Let's see what we got.
What are you making me look for here? Do they exist?
Yeah, just do a little digging. Yes, there are a few, right? Absolutely. Astrobot is one of them, and that'll probably be the best one. And Astrobot getting rave reviews. Everyone who's played it that I know says it looks great. But with that said,
You're asking me for
don't forget
PlayStation
Rolling
5 only
Fields.
games?
I'm sorry, what?
You're asking me for only PlayStation 5 games?
PlayStation 5 first-party games. First part, yeah, exclusives. Exclusives is fine.
And here they are.
Okay,
That's
what do we
it.
got? Oh wow,
God.
that's a lot shorter than I actually thought it was going to
Oh
be.
no.
Apollo 13. So 21 pages are in this
Oh,
category.
that's right. Final Fantasy VII, the terrible second one, was exclusive for a
Now
minute.
keep in mind this is Wikipedia, but
Yeah, the second Horizon game, Demon Souls.
Horizon.
Yeah, okay. The Wolverine game, which is coming soon.
Did that Horizon game come out? Or is that in development?
I don't know. Horizon Call of the Mountain. R-Type Final 3 Evolved. I didn't know that was a thing. Spider-Man 2. Yeah, that was like a system seller for sure.
mhm.
And
Stellar Blade, everybody planted their socio-political flag on that one before
Yeah.
they reversed those retards.
Yeah.
Keep doing that with the retarded monkey game people.
And we got Astrobot as well, right?
So basically the biggest hits are like Astrobot and Spidey.
I would say, yeah, Last of Us 2 remastered.
Yeah, remastered.
Yeah, okay. And okay, all right, okay. Well, anyways, we got a PlayStation 5 Pro coming, Razor, and the specs were released earlier today. We have a larger GPU. We have advanced ray tracing, AI-driven upscale.
Ray tracing on the machine already, or was that an Xbox thing?
This is advanced.
Yeah.
Yes, you see.
So in case you're wondering, advanced ray tracing, we've added even more powerful ray tracing that provides more dynamic reflection and refraction of light. This allows the rays to be cast at double, at times triple the speeds of the current PS5 console.
And it will be 15 FPS, I'm sure. That's
the
problem. That's been the problem with the Series X. It's been the problem with the PS5 is they announce all these crazy features and then they'll have to put in the options menu, hey, would you like to play this at normal specs so it doesn't have the frame rate of a flip book underwater?
Right. I think, you know what's interesting about this is all these, I'm sure these are actual technical jargon, but you know what it really sounds like? Blast processing. That's what it sounds like.
It does. Ray tracing has lots of blast processing vibes.
Right. All right, I'll tell you,
because the way that it was originally sold sounded interesting. Like prior to, I don't know, this generation, I guess a little, and honestly, it still happens this generation. They had to sort of cheat to have shadows in a game engine. The game engines of today kind of have to fake having shadows. The idea was, oh, let the graphics card do that. It can just calculate where the objects are, and then the shadows will fall where they need to. It seemed like something that would save development time. It has not worked that way. It's basically just been a giant excuse for eye candy that usually looks worse than the normal in-engine version, honestly.
well, I'll tell you what. Well, let's get back to the PlayStation 5 Pro in just a few minutes. But we do have another guest joining us today. The German filmmaker Uwe Boll has joined us this morning. Hello, how are you?
Good.
Hi.
It's
For
great.
me, it's almost the evening. I just had sushi, and now I'm ready for the podcast.
How is the German sushi?
It's not German. Even in Germany, it's Japanese. Rolling it up, So, but a lot of Japanese guys in Germany are actually Vietnamese or Chinese.
Okay.
I mean, when you get the cheapo sushi, they're not Japanese.
Do they
No,
have-
yeah, absolutely. Like here in the desert, it's usually Korean guys pretending to be Japanese.
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah.
What
But it
cultural
doesn't matter.
appropriation?
It's still good. I always eat the same stuff, so I like unagi, like unagi maki, like that barbecued eel, like this. I like that a lot, and I like spicy tuna rolls. So that's basically what I eat when I order sushi.
So you don't go crazy adventurous when it comes to sushi. Keep it
No.
basic.
Yeah, exactly. So
All right. All right. Well, good stuff. Well, glad you're joining us today. Hopefully your day's going well. At least it sounds like it's finishing up. I figured with you on, Uwe, I thought it'd be a great opportunity to talk about the big news that came down last night, which was the death of a Hollywood icon, James Earl Jones, passing away. Passing away at 93 years old, obviously known as the Star Wars Darth Vader. As well as, a million other roles. He was in Conan and
every baseball movie ever.
You're right. Uwe, do you have any thoughts on the passing of James Earl Jones?
Not really. There are so many people dying recently, like in the industry. But look, I know him, of course, and I like him because he's so long in the business. But I don't have him, let's say, right in front of me. When you have like Jack Nicholson, he's very old too now, so he could die every day, or Gene Hackman. These actors I have in front of me, like with their like famous roles they played, and right there. So James Earl Jones, I don't have him in my mind like I would have like when Denzel Washington, would pass away in hopefully only 20, 30 years. But I think it was a very good supporting actor. That's the hard fact on James Earl Jones, right? So, nobody wants to be on the gravestone like I was the voice of Darth Vader. For an actor, what this is. So, I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful. I think he had a great life. I think also he was a great guy, right? So, supposed to be a very good human being. But I never had really, let's say, like this kind of, I followed his career.
Mm-hmm.
in a way.
Well, speaking of his career, here's a few of his movies right here. Are you familiar with like baseball is a very American thing, Uwe, right? But are you familiar with like Field of Dreams and Sandlot and like those type of movies? Have you seen those?
All that films, but look, where's James Earl Jones on the poster, right? So I mean, it was just not the lead actor. I mean, that's the fact,
right?
I mean, there are, that's the thing. So it's, I think. But I mean, super good side actors are important, and he is one of them. Like so I mean, he was an enormous.
Oh, Meteor Man! There you go.
I'm not familiar with Meteor Man. So was he the lead in that one?
He was not. He was also a supporting actor in that.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting to see kind of the outpour of support, or the outpour of not support, but just love for somebody after they pass on. And as you said, Uwe, there's a lot of people who are, who we grew up watching are passing. It seems like every week, there's always someone that you're familiar with, and that you go, oh man, I can't believe they're gone. And really more than anything, it's almost like a sign of your own mortality. When you see somebody pass on, you go, oh shit, I'm getting old too. Along the way, has there been
shocking? I think what is really shocking is to see how many young people now die, and it's a mix, right? Like this sudden heart failures. You have a lot also with sports people, like in Europe, we're big in soccer. And I mean, here, a lot of people just dropped down dead in the post-COVID era. And then you have people dying, like last week, there's 2 bodybuilders died out of the blue, like where you don't know if it's like the steroids or whatever. And then you have also people, of course, with Matthew Perry and people like this with drugs.
Right.
We have way more, I think, drug-related sudden deaths also from a lot of like that rapper guys, where you don't know, like, what drug was it? Or, so that's the thing. So it's like a strange situation, I feel like. But maybe in the earlier years, they didn't report it every person dead. And now when you go online, you just see every day another strange death, where you don't know why that person just collapsed or whatever.
Well, I think that there's a lot of people who are putting a lot of things into their body that they may not necessarily know what they're putting into their body, right? Whether it's food or other interesting items that will probably get us demonetized just for talking about on YouTube. But
you don't want to rearrange your DNA, Craig? What?
Right? I don't know. It's crazy. I don't. I will say this: James Earl Jones lived to be 93. So hopefully, none of those things affected his life.
No.
Whatever it may be.
No, it's interesting. You see a lot of people say "gone too soon." It's like, really, at 93? Are you sure?
Right.
It's a ripe old age.
Yeah, like don't get on our healthcare costs too much. I mean, there's that German joke actually. Like our grandparents, they died. I mean, not talking about Second World War, they died in that too. But in the when you were in the retirement age, you basically drank or fell from the ladder within 3 years. So the corporates don't have to pay too long your pension out, because they could basically count on with 70 you were dead. And now when the people stay very long alive, you have that problem that there's no money, right? So that the problem is that the retirement pension funds, like in Germany, they're running out of money because people live too long.
I didn't know we were going to be going down this rabbit hole today. All right, let's go. Let's go.
He lost me at German joke.
I mean, look, this is all a solvable problem, whatever silent green, that or most do. So, yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So the sushi was good today, huh, Uwe?
Everyone should watch First Shift. It's now on Amazon and Apple and so on, right? My film is.
I think
in case you overlooked it.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's. Last time you were on, you talked about that. Your film First Shift. That was. You said it's available on Amazon now.
Yeah, Amazon, Apple, Google, whatever, Microsoft, and Fandango.
How does that work? Do you work directly with them to get it published and as far as releasing it on all the different platforms, or is that done through a third company?
Oh, that was Quiver, like the distributor in the US. They released it first in a few movie theaters, but only like 5 cities, and then it's on the first tier, right? SVOD, so where you have to pay $6 or $5 to watch it. And then you go from there to, of course, later to AVOD, like the free watching, but with advertising. And they did a Showtime deal, so it will be on Showtime at one point. We go from there. I mean, for me, I want to continue First Shift. I wanted to do another part, or I want to do like a 6-part miniseries out of it, because the 2 cops, I think, getting very good along, and it's entertaining to watch them. That can only happen if we run successful, so if the streamers or the TV channels, they see, people watching it or people like it, and then we have a chance to maybe continue with it. Otherwise it's dead, so.
Well, So Tommy came in just now and he said, "Hail, Mr. Boll! Just purchased the Postal 4K and it's friggin' amazing. Where can I sign up to help you fund Postal 2?" I know you had a kind of Indiegogo Kickstarter crowdfunding campaign going for Postal 2. How did that go?
Very bad. No, because not because that we pulled it after a day. It was a misunderstanding. So because what happened was that Vince Dizzy from Running with Scissors, he answered when so many people were asking for Postal 2. He said he cannot say no if it would happen. Now we did the Kickstarter, the Indiegogo campaign, but he didn't like that we said, look, if we don't collect enough money, we do something else with the money. We shoot like whatever, like a compilation film, like California Fright Movies, another project I have parallel going, what is cheaper to shoot. And he said, no, that is very bad. And everybody said they don't even want that we do Postal 2. That's not the truth. I think Vince would like to do Postal 2, but similar to me, he doesn't want that Postal 2 sucks or is cheap. You know, because Postal 1, I think, was kind of an expensive film. It was not something you just make for $1 million. So, and I hate it when second parts are horrible and cheaper and it doesn't look good. Right. But I said also, I cannot do a whole campaign. Let's say we collect $1 million, you know, and say, oh, now everybody gets the money back. And the whole, you know, like it's work, a campaign like this. And then I want to at least use that money to make something cheaper. Now, yeah, but that didn't work out. So I felt like, oh, forget it, come, we take it off. And so for now, there will be no Postal 2. And we have to live with this. Maybe it's not so bad that Postal is a standalone film. It's now on Tubi, it's on Amazon Prime. So it gains traction, I think, Postal, in a way that more people as like film fans watch it now and they see what it was, what it is. And maybe it's better. It is, in the end, just a standalone movie and doesn't get a second part.
I'll tell you what, we looked at the campaign last week when it launched. And I gotta be honest, I was really confused about what was going on. There were like in the photo gallery, there was all sorts of crazy pictures and stuff. What was going on with the photos that were used?
Taylor Swift AI.
Yeah, there was all sorts of there was Taylor Swift getting rammed from behind. Like, what was going on with all that? I was very confused.
I don't throw my Uwe Boll Raw partner Gary Otto under the bus. All right, so but he launched the campaign. Let's say it's this one. So, and I went along with it, but everything, it was, I think, too fast posted campaign. We should work on it better. And, you know, but look, it is what it is. Some stuff doesn't work out. I think he got a lot of shit on Twitter for it. So, and I'm happy that he's over it. And I'm over it the whole time. It's like when he was very upset, right? And I felt like he was upset about Running with Scissors too. And I told him, look, I don't care. It's like, I think over the last 25 years, I got the total mentality that doesn't hit me anymore. You know, when the Twitter storm goes off or people flipping out on me, it really doesn't rail me up. Then I feel like, okay, yeah, maybe it was our fault. And bye.
That's a shame. Like, you could, if you wait to get a little bit older, you could challenge Jake Paul to a boxing match. And I think
I know. Oh, that is too bad that didn't happen 15 years ago, right?
Right.
With Jake Paul, I could make so much money in fucking influencer boxing.
Right.
So, and now it's like I'm too old, so I'm not doing it anymore. But it's insane what's going on there. The whole landscape now changed so much. I mean, you know, when we have a situation where nobody really knows how professional filmmaking, in what direction it goes. Is it only going to algorithm? What can AI will do? You know, like how many jobs will get deleted in the next 5 years Maybe we all four here on the picture are soon.
Oh yeah, we're gone. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You talk for Craig today. You look like him. Like shit like this. That is all possible. And I think everybody who is doing dubbing, for example, will be out of a job very quickly now. Who dubs in different languages, that will be all replaced automatically, and stuff like this. Like a lot of jobs will go away, and also the question is what we're watching. I think changed dramatically, and if I have to summarize the business how it is right now, I think the huge difference between the streamers and Blockbuster or actual physically DVDs is the fact that when you walked into a Blockbuster, every film had the same shot. Like you had this cover of Star Wars, but then you had a shitty horror movie right besides it, right? And you looked at everything the same. You walked through the hallways and checked it a little out. If you didn't went in like, oh, I get that movie.
Yeah, that's true of the video games in a Blockbuster too.
Yeah,
you just try a random thing.
But the difference is now, if you're on Amazon, but you're not in the top, like first things popping up, then you will have only 5% of the views of the other films, no matter how good you are. Because the people don't scroll to the right further as 10 films, right? They don't scroll like what is on position 65. So it's like, it doesn't happen. And then
there's no place for searching. Like people, this is interesting because this is something that they've been trying to fix at like Barnes and Noble with books, in that the guy who just took over Barnes and Noble, who worked at like a British company or whatever, has been basically reorganizing Barnes and Noble to cater to the buyer who's looking for something new, who's like a hunter for a new thing. That was kind of what it sounds like what you're saying is that's kind of what Blockbuster facilitated. And that's sort of gone the way of the dodo. Nobody's hunting for the new thing.
Yeah, look, in the early days, go move 20 years back, go in a Best Buy, go in a Walmart. They had thousands of DVDs and Blu-rays, and now they have only Twister or Barbie, and nobody else is placing DVDs or Blu-rays there anymore. And then also, who's really hurt are all the independent or medium film producers. The big shots are never hurt because they make per film enough money that they never have to work again, so including all that actors who are always whiny if they don't get a nomination for anything, if they don't in Venice or in Toronto, whatever, then they're all crying after making 10 million to shoot a movie. So why they give a fuck how many people watch it, right? So I mean, that's the thing. It's like it's a total, and I'm mad about it because my film Run about that migrant crisis was in Europe with I'm a plumber and so on, got denied from Venice, got denied from Toronto, got denied from San Sebastian, right? And then you see what films are running there are like TV shows, but it's with Brad Pitt, but it's with Angelina Jolie. Like, where are these festivals having their grip or their honor on like theatrical films, independent films, like how they should have? Because film festivals also were historically the ramp for films not made by the studio system. Now the studio system or the streaming system have even that film festivals all bought, and then, big surprise, Nicole Kidman wins the best acting thing, like stuff like this. There are no more surprises because there's in every festival just an invasion of superstars coming in, all paid by the big studios or streamers. And that is why, and the festivals like Toronto, they think we're getting only big audience crowd and a lot of press if we have this red carpets. And then we also show, I just saw, like before I went online here, saw like the Coppola film with Adam Driver is even now running in Toronto. That film was in every festival. And normally festivals should show premieres, right? So they should say, look, we get a world premiere of Run with Amanda Plummer, James Russell, and blah, blah, blah. And it's about the migrant crisis in Italy. And we are the Venice Film Festival. We are in Italy. And 25% of the film is even shot in Italian language. And boom, no. You know, and then they're showing some stupid films from like Pedro Almodovar, who's like putting Tilda Swinton in the bed and she's dying. You know? I mean, ridiculous.
You know, I hear you talking about indie films and the state of indie, and it, you know, there's a larger aspect to all this conversation. I'm really intrigued, but you know, we were talking about Postal early on, and I looked online. It said there was about a $15 million budget for that movie. Is that pretty accurate? 15 million for Postal?
Yes.
Okay. Is that the largest budget you've worked with for a film?
No, it was In the Name of the King with Jason Statham.
Oh, that's right.
60 million.
60. Okay. So what, you know, I look at this, I'm just a normal man. I see these budgets that are 100 million, 150, 200 million. What is that money being spent on when you see these big, literally $100 million films?
Yeah. So that is the thing where I feel when you watch In the Name of the King, it's almost 3 hours long. It has Jason Statham, Burt Reynolds, Ron Perlman, John Rhys-Davies, Lily Sobieski, Claire Forlani. Like, I think for video game-based movies, almost the biggest cast ever in a video game-based film. And it still was 60 million, but not 150 as The Prince of Persia,
right?
You know, or the World of Warcraft or Assassin's Creed.
Right.
And they always had only one known actor, like Jake Gyllenhaal or, you know, or Michael Fassbender, but there was not like an ensemble cast. So then I looked at the shooting days, and we shot on In the Name of the King. We shot 55 days. So that was my longest shoot too. And they shooting also 55 days, right? So then you feel like, do we had less extras? Do we had less crew or whatever? And the reality is that all these studio movies, they're getting blown off proportions based on the overhead. They all put their overhead in, the production companies, whatever, and they're spending money what you don't really see on screen. You know, they're like 18 executive producers.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, and you think like, what are these guys doing? Like, are they on set or what? And mostly not. But they're all making money.
Oh,
you know?
we've all seen movies, especially in the last several years, Marvel movies and stuff, where $200 million budget, $300 million budget, and then you see a fight scene and it looks like a bad video game cutscene from like 1997, and you're like, why is the money not on the screen here? Right?
Yeah.
Where is that going?
No, but what I think is what happens there. It's like how Michael Douglas would say it in Wall Street, like it's the age of greed. You know, it's this kind of, they know the chance that I get later money because the movie is a success is basically zero. You know, so now they all try to get as much upfront as they can get, and then they negotiating it up. And that's the thing how it works. And then they like helping each other out, and they taking enormous production. I bet that on the big tentpole films is per film 80 to 100 million just for the actors and the overhead.
Wow.
You know, like, and the rest goes in the production. And in the, like in the Name of the King, Jason Statham got only $1 million. You know, like everybody else got a few $100,000. So I negotiated like totally reasonable fees for the actors. And then I got like 200,000 as the director and producer. The other people in my position there would say, no, 2 million at least, right? So stuff like this. That's the thing. And what, for me, a big surprise is when you see now all that classical studios like Paramount, 4 billion loss, Warner, 6 billion loss, that they don't change the way they spend money. You know, you feel this kind of like you see some TV shows and this episode when they said it, like whatever, when they do now Lord of the Rings new, and they do the Game of Thrones, the new ones, and the 3-body problem and all that stuff, they spending like 20 to 50 million per episode on that stuff. And you really think that costs so much to make that stuff? No, it doesn't. It's way cheaper to do this if you want that. If you use KI, if you use also people, they know what they're doing, and you work time efficient. And I think that's the biggest problem of all that losses they do, like especially also Warner Brothers, is that they don't spend the money clever in productions. They just waste billions for producers and directors. They tell them something, and they have nobody, because they're all now attorneys sitting there and there's nobody, an actual film producer anymore at Warner Brothers, who could look at stuff and tells the guys, you know what, we can do that for 80 million bucks. I think you can shoot that in 43 days and not like in 120 days. Right. And you know, that's the thing. And I recently read an interview with the guy, with one of the producers, line producers for Mission Impossible, and he works for J.J. Abrams. And he was a totally normal AD before, and he moved up the ladder. And I think he's a super nice guy. And I even tweeted the article. It was an interview with him. But in the interview, he gave something away, what I think was very interesting for me. Like when they were like the Tom Cruise stuff, where he's driving with the motorcycle over the edge and goes on the parachute. They shot that in 3 different countries. So he was 3 times on that motorcycle, also 3 times on the parachute, and there were various times, of course, drones and other camera guys on the, you know, like they, and he felt like they didn't. Felt like maybe we don't shoot it now. I need to rehearse and stuff like this. But the way he explained how that scene was done, it was clear for me that to do this scene was at least 15 million bucks. That's only because they were always there. He said with the whole crew. Means they were ready to shoot, right? So they were ready, like, and then maybe not here. Maybe we have to fly to Italy. But you have to think what that means. It's Mission Impossible. It's not like I should run with Amanda Plummer. It means like if they say we go to Italy, that means 280 people flying to Italy, going in a hotel in 280 rooms, finding out 2 days later where they are in the mountains, and then maybe shoot. You know, and that's the craziness. And I think that when you see, besides Netflix, everybody is basically making losses, then I don't get it. You know, I don't get it for what they spend all that money. What then never goes to independent films. What never goes to, let's make some cheaper TV shows, but we give other people a chance to do something. Let's give Uwe Boll 10 million bucks, but he makes 3 more first shift movies from it in New York. Let's see, maybe the audience loves it. All of this is gone because they spent all that money and in an unintelligent way to do stuff like this. And that, I think, drastically changed. I think in the 70s, 80s, 90s, look at when you watch The Offer, or how they had to do The Godfather. They were penny pinching. And then they were the biggest masterpieces shot at that time period.
Even Star Wars was like 10 million. It was like nothing at the time.
No, but Star Wars, I think the whole charm of Star Wars, why so many people fell in love with Star Wars, was that you saw it could be almost a Roger Corman production, but you had the feeling like this is new. Look, 11 million, you know? Yeah. So
it's like a Flash Gordon serial, just on a big screen. Right, basically,
but way better as Flash Gordon because it had Harrison Ford and so on, and it was just fun to watch, right? And in the later Star Wars, when they spent the 200 million, and now they spend 200 million on every spin-off they do, it lost all the heart and soul, you know. And I think that's the biggest loss, I think, for film fans. In that. For loss in films, like this kind of what is it even worse to shoot movies anymore? You know, like for what? To be like 1 week on Amazon in the top 20 or what? I mean, what the fuck is, you know?
do you think the festival circuit, because I've often thought this, the festival circuit is turning kind of corporate, kind of reminds me of what happened to like San Diego Comic-Con, where it started out about comics and now it's just to show bad Marvel and DC movies that are going to come out, right?
Yeah.
Do you think the festival circuit turning so corporate in Hollywood has a lot to do with the fact that Hollywood is contracting? In some, like, they're kind of circling the wagons in a way and trying to market their movies where they can, because the big movies that they were making, some of them are making more than ever, others are not, right?
Yes.
Warner Brothers, I forget what the figure was years ago, but Warner Brothers had released like 25 major movies in a year and had made like a third what Disney had in a year, right? Like, so a lot of these movies are not finding an audience. Do you think that's a contributor in the festival scene being taken over by Brad Pitt and such?
Yes, and I understand also. I think they all have their reasoning, right? A film festival like Venice will say, look, we can only survive if we have sponsoring, if we get press attention, if audience comes, and they're not coming if I have Uwe Boll and Amanda Plumb, but they're coming if I have Brad Pitt and George Clooney, right? So that is why they bring that films. But I think the mix has to make it, right? But if the mix is not there anymore, because right now the mix in that festivals is this: you have that huge Hollywood productions with the huge stars, and then you have totally absurd minority art house films without any, let's say, subject matter, what matters for the audience in our countries. Right. If you're like, I mean, to say it clearer, right? If you're like a gay Iranian refuge, you can say whatever the fuck you want. You will be in an A-list festival.
No, it's true. Like a socio-political, yeah.
Till your death.
Yeah, if you're like a quadruple amputee LGBTQIA symbol for boron, then you'll get a movie.
Yes. But what they forgot is that then films like my film felt completely under the wheels somewhere and were not like shown at all, right? Films where the Italian audience in Venice would actually be really interested in, because the whole government got voted out based on the migrant crisis in Italy, right? The whole subject matter number one in Europe is the migrant crisis, and I made the only film about it, what shows it in a little different light as all the other films who only show migrant films in a way like, oh, we have that one migrant, he turned into a nuclear astronaut for the NASA. So this is a story we have to tell, a real winner story of that one Syrian refugee what didn't step people in inner city later and called ISIS is their god and whatever. No, that guy made a career. This guy gets the movie and this guy gets into the film festivals. That's just bullshit. You know, you can have hundreds of that films, but if you like push away the only film who shows like the reality of the migrant situation in Europe, and I say I did the only realistic film about that subject matter so far, you know, if you refuse to play it, then you have kind of a political agenda. No. You know, you kind of trying to sugarcoat the reality. And
well, gosh, you did an Auschwitz film, and they criticized it for having too much gore and being too graphic, right?
Exactly. There was no hero in my Auschwitz film. That's the reason only the Israelis really liked my Auschwitz film. They like it till today, because it was running in the Yad Vashem Museum, because my film showed what Auschwitz was. Right. You know, there was no Schindler. You know,
right.
I mean, that's the thing, right? So it showed it what it was. It was a murder plant, like a meat plant for humans. So, and the thing is, I see that more and more, like in my career, when I did this Darfur or Auschwitz or this kind of films, they cannot stand like cold truth. You know,
I think that's
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's something you see in a lot of society today, is the idea of people put their fingers in their ears and they go la 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 la, and they have no interest in hearing actual facts. You know, it goes back to the whole facts don't care about your feelings aspects of it. But so many people are built around emotion right now, and they have no interest in actually learning about that stuff. So yeah, I know we only got a couple more minutes with you, Uwe, but I wanted to ask you. You mentioned Star Wars, and we started off talking about James Earl Jones and him passing away. Star Wars is a franchise that obviously has seen a lot of ups and downs, right? If you
hold on, ups and downs and downs and downs and downs and downs.
Right, yeah, right. Okay. So right now it's in an incredible down, right? If Disney came to you and they were like, "Hey, Uwe Boll, you get Star Wars. What would you do with Star Wars if you had complete and total control of it?"
Oh, I want to hear this.
Yeah, I know, but that is not like what you can so easily, put up. But I think it would need. The problem is this: they went so far out there that you would have to omit it. Right, so you would have to do like the Men in Black situation and tell everybody, forgot what you saw.
Oh my God! Tell me you will go on record now as saying the last 3 movies do not exist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes!
You know, that is what you should do, and say we need to go here back to the roots. What was the initial idea behind it? And we have to go back to practical effects and stuff like this, you know, to do things for real, and it's not all CGI. And then you need the real characters. I mean, to say Chewbacca or whatever, like Jabba the Hutt, that this kind of things were for me always the highlights. You know, the characters, like the strange characters interacting with Han Solo and so on. I think it needs to go back to the basics. I had that feeling when the first season came from The Mandalorian. It was the first thing I really liked. I watched that and I felt, this I can watch. This is entertaining for me.
It got back to the first movie had some spaghetti western in it.
Yes.
Right? And it leaned into that really hard. So it kind of was pulling on the original inspirations.
Yeah.
And wonder of wonders, George Lucas shows up on set. He gets it, right? He instantly understands what they're doing.
Yeah. But we all know who has to go, Kathleen Kennedy, right? So she has to go. the only
Clip
way,
it.
it's the only way to recalibrate everything and to go completely away from her total Vogue Star Wars life ideas. She's destroying Disney in a way.
You don't think other people would have to be removed too?
Yes.
I think Kathleen would be the first one to go for sure, but like a bunch of people below her would be like, nah, you're out. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. I mean, that you cannot stop there, but it needs to go this kind of, that's my main problem with most of this kind of constructed things where they're sitting there, this is our money maker, and now we keep milking it, right? So, and it's I mean, in that way, it's Star Wars is in a way the biggest franchise of all times, right? But a lot of the franchises are, in my opinion, are totally dead. You know, the Fast and the Furious. I mean, who can watch this shit? Like,
what are we up to? Like part pie or something? Like, what are we up to?
Yeah, you know, it's just like a total disaster, and it's like and they totally bet on it still, and they give them more and more money to make bigger and bigger films who are far away from any form of Fast and the Furious classic reality. What they had, right? That is the problem. It's like they think bigger is more, and then it gets more artificial and more like they use ChatGPT to write the whole script, and it's just horrible in what direction a lot of that franchises went. I also have big problems with James Bond. I mean, James Bond has the advantage, it comes only every few years. It's not coming every year. But I think also they are and were on the totally wrong trip with James Bond. It went also totally over the hill in regards of action scenes. He's now a superhero, similar to the Fast and the Furious people. He's not a human being anymore. And I think we all love James Bond, mostly because of the familiar things with Moneypenny and Q, and that everything what happened could happen. That there were
the spy intrigue.
Martin car races there, that they did stunts with real drivers. It's all gone. And I hate that. So it's losing this kind of original grip to it. And the bad guys are totally exchangeable. You don't even know who's the bad guy in the very end, because every James Bond now has 3 bad guys parallel, because one is not enough. And so I that's the problem. I think they don't have this. You all watched The Offer, right? How they did The Godfather with Miles Teller, that TV show. Did you watch that? It's like a 6-part or 8-part. It's a fictional thing, but it's about making of The Godfather. And Miles Teller plays the producer. That was his first film he basically produced, because he was not really a producer. But what that show, it's on Paramount Plus, so you should watch it. It's a really good TV show, because it brings back this situation where you had a studio system, where you had a greedy boss and owner, but all that moguls from the old days, they still had some taste. Right? They still had like, money is everything, but then it was not. Then they greenlit Rosemary's Baby or Chinatown and all that classics we now have, because they were not totally flat like a computer wrote it, right? They all had that special kind of individual life to it. And they felt the passion from that Miles Teller guy, because he made it happen with The Godfather. It was not like Francis Ford Coppola. He made the film, but it was him who drove that forward, because he had the passion to do this. And, and that is all over, because they will never talk to you. And what you have now is you have movies getting made because the studio executives go for dinner with Brad Pitt. And then Brad Pitt has something he wants to do, and he gets $50 million to do it. And then the next evening, it's Ben Affleck who's doing the next thing. That is what we see now. When you really check what movies getting made, they're all mostly by producer actors. And that was not the case, because actors are normally, like film historically, not good producers. Right. And they also have no fucking taste. The reality is that most actors have no clue what a good movie is. They know when they're in it and they play it and they get the Oscar for it. They know, oh, that was a good movie. But they don't have that initial storytelling gene in them that they know that is a very, very important movie. That is the reason, like Coppola did, because he's a great filmmaker. Not with Megapolis, but with like a lot of other films. Apocalypse Now was Francis Ford Coppola, right? So, and that's the thing, that are filmmaker-driven films. They are important, and they were great. And George Lucas, I think, was a great filmmaker who then went on the dark side and just went straight for the money and forgot that he did great films. Right. I think
he stopped even making films. He got into producer land a little bit.
And it was his way, but I think he was a very talented director. He did very good films when he started, right? I think he had the same, he was together with Scorsese and Spielberg, whatever, they all know each other. And I don't think George Lucas was less talented.
No. Watch THX 1138. Some of the film techniques in that, like in terms of the cuts and stuff, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah. Not the greatest plot, but a really beautiful movie.
Yeah. No, yeah. So I railed you enough up. So it's
not nearly enough.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Before we move on, is there a genre you have never done that you would like to do?
No, I'm not the Christmas movie love affair romantic comedy guy. I can do comedy, but only like stuff like Postal.
Right.
And I'm really
So
like
Jingle All the Way too.
exactly. So no, and I feel better to do films where something really happens, you know. But I'm also not. I don't like to be in a studio. I like to shoot outside on real locations, and I'm not the guy who can sit in front of a green screen and direct now episode 19 to 28 of Lord of the Rings season 150. So I just couldn't do it. You know, I would sit there like, what the fuck? Just get the elf and shoot him in the head. You know. So
Listen, I got to be honest. I know
the black gay elf now.
That's right. Yes. Now I know that the Postal 2 Indiegogo didn't work out like you wanted, but I got to be honest. I think if you put together a pitch for a Christmas movie, a romantic comedy starring, written by Uwe Boll, I got to be honest. I think there may be a little bit of traction there. Just throwing it out there.
I know. The worst Christmas America ever had. Today, Hallmark shows my Christmas movie.
Oh, that'd be brilliant. Well, we do have a couple super chats before we let you go here, Uwe. But Antihero came in and says, Uwe, I owe you an apology for talking smack about your movies. Postal is a masterpiece. Greetings from Frankfurt, a fellow Uwe. There we go.
Excellent.
Mage says, watching when he talks about budgets like a lot of numbers out of Germany, they're probably inflated, if not an outright hoax. No. All right, Mage Leader.
Wait.
Patrick says,
what he said, what budgets were inflated?
Oh,
about Assassin's Creed and whatever we said over. No, high budgets were inflated.
I think it's a takeoff on a Gilbert Gottfried joke. Actually, is what that was. But
yeah. What was the next one? You pulled it up?
Yeah, Patrick says, Uwe, I own all your video game movies. My favorite one is House of the Dead. Honestly, did you get any say on what went into the sequels of your movies?
Unfortunately, not. But I was on House of the Dead. I want to reboot House of the Dead, and I went in contact with Sega last week, and they sold the rights to somebody else.
Wow.
House of the Dead. But I'm sure I never heard about it. And if there's another House of the Dead movie, I don't know. But it would be fun to do a real House of the Dead movie, not like the second part. I was not involved in the second part of House of the Dead, and yeah.
Let's see. A mercenary says, Lord Uwe, my dad is the opposite of that joke. He is somehow drinking more wine than a fish drinks water at 70 plus, and nothing can touch him. It's amazing. There you go. Tommy wants to know did you personally work on the Postal 4K? If so, thank you for not using AI like Cameron did with Aliens and True Lies.
No, I worked with Louis Justin from Massacre Video. In LA, they made the 4K out of it, but I helped to get the 35mm material to him, because that, after all the labs closed, turned into a problematic situation for a lot of my movies. Now we got Tunnel Rats, for example. I found a copy of Tunnel Rats. It's at Louis Justin's facility, but there was no sound on for whatever reason. So we need to find sound, because the DVD sound doesn't fit on the film. Now it looks like the film is maybe longer or shorter as the DVD, but I think longer as the DVD, and we're looking for the tracks. So that is one of the big things I really try to move forward, is to preserve my films in 4K, and I was like, I never thought about that 10, 15 years ago, where that was not a thing. You felt like, okay, we have an HD master of all the films, and now all the Technicolor, whatever, they're all set, we're closing, we're destroying all the prints, or you want them, then you have to pay, we deliver it to you, whatever. And I got a few, but I didn't get all of them, because I thought the negatives have to be somewhere stored, but now it's like a problem. So, yeah.
Chris says, if Postal 2 was to ever happen, you got to get Craig and Blabs in as a cameo. That'd be
Please. Love to be in one.
Oh my god,
love it.
Hey,
sometimes all you got to do is ask, and Uwe will put you in his movie, or at least get you on set, which is great.
I volunteer.
There's my
It's no problem.
Yeah. Nashikawa says, "Rip Craig's marriage when his wife finds his copies of Dustborn." Yeah, that's right. Has Uwe ever seen Goldman or Along with the Gods, The Two Worlds? If so, thoughts? Seen either of those before?
No.
Okay.
They made a movie out of Game On, really? Is it the video game series, the Konami game?
I don't know. The Mystical Ninja one? I don't know.
Yeah, Mystical Ninja. They made a movie out of that?
Yeah.
No, but wait, before that, wait one second. Exactly, I'm sure the president of Lucasfilm, but you saw in the Vulture magazine the list of the best video game-based movies ever, right? You saw that article last week.
I'll pull it up.
So
let's see.
Vulture magazine, the worst and best video games movies ranked 51 were in total there, and they ranked from 51 down to 1. Did you found it?
I have a list from 2016. Okay.
No,
well,
wait.
Is this from last week, you said, or is this from 2016?
No, it's from last week.
Okay. All right, let me see.
Magazine, video game. I have it. I posted it, everything.
Well, I have this one from 2016, and right now Postal is ranked number 51. So there's that.
Also, put that up. Maybe that's the same thing. That is it.
Okay. So should we be looking? Are you pretty high on this list?
No. That it's they put it as the worst video game based film ever.
I don't think that's the case.
No, but that is what I mean. Like when I looked at the list, like actually my films are not ranked low. Like Far Cry is on position 12, to my big surprise. Right? So a lot of, like basically all my other video game based films are above Postal, right? And I think the list they did, they were overall, it was not totally off. There are things where I think they're totally bullshit, but the list was not totally off.
I mean, gosh, Street Fighter. Come on. It's a great
What?
movie.
Hold on. They put the Mario movie in 1993 as the 4th best video game movie of all time?
Yes. That was very bad. Then Mortal Kombat, Resident. I don't know what the fuck this is, but look, the number 1. I never saw that film before.
I don't even know what this is. Werewolves.
What is it based on?
They say Werewolves Within is the best video game based movie made in history. So, and I never heard about the game or the film, but the point, because I did a whole podcast about this list, because whatever the list is, they didn't get Postal at all. And that was the thing where I felt like it's really like this. It's like Postal divides the audience into, because a lot of people flipped out about the list and said Postal should be number 1. You know, I mean, there are 2 options. Postal is in the top 5 or Postal is last, you know, and I think a lot of people, despite Postal, they hate Postal. They think it's vulgar. It's, you know, it's everything what it is. And they hate it because of this. And the other half, or maybe,
have they played the game? Are they aware?
That's the thing, and that is the other thing. I wrote a Vulture a letter, but they didn't answer it so far, because I said, look, when you do a thing, rank the video game based movie. So your 2 options. We have 2 totally options, and I think you have to also put up what's the film, what portrays the game the best, like what is most connected to the game. And I think Postal is, the film is exactly like the game. It's really like mirroring the total anarchistic, dirty, under the belt game. That is what the film also is. From this point of view, I think Postal is the 100% match. And so you cannot say it's the worst video game-based movie ever, no matter how you feel about the content. Because what is the goal? The goal is to stay closer to the video game. Alone in the Dark got trashed because it was not like the video game. And it had nothing, the story had nothing to do with the video game. So it got completely trashed because of it. So the question is, what is their like ranking criteria? You know, so
opinion. It just goes around stigma. you know, the idea and stereotype and all that. So yeah, I mean, they're not looking at it super objectively. I promise you that. So
Do you feel a little like Plymouth Rock landed on you, being the guy who first started making a lot of these video game movies, and now it's clear like Hollywood wants to make video game movies the next thing? Like it's obvious now that Marvel movies are kind of on the downslide.
Yes. You know, I think it's really like, but I see it as a positive thing for me, because a lot of the video game based movies are so bad that my films climb up in the ranks, because people say, you know what, I just watched House of the Dead again. It was actually very entertaining, and I cannot say this about whatever, that film or this film. You know, I think it started actually with The Prince of Persia, where I was laughing my ass off when I watched it, and I felt like
I actually love that movie. I'm not gonna lie.
My god! Kick her!
I actually do like it. The music is great too. I'm just saying.
Oh my
but indirectly, Jake Gyllenhaal did blackface.
I know, but it's hilarious.
And Assassin's Creed is like a sleep aid.
Yeah, you know, but look, Assassin's Creed, World of Warcraft. I mean, they were all films where they said before, "Oh, we can never touch World of Warcraft. Oh my god, it can never." And then World of Warcraft, the movie comes, and everybody like, "What the fuck?" You know, and that's the thing. It's like, that is good for me that they actually made then the movie. You know, after Blizzard had so a big mouth about me. You know, and like, oh, whatever, we hate him, you know, and then they make that film, and it was a total disaster. And so let's keep. They should keep making video game based movies.
Sounds like they are, for sure. As mentioned, Norm came in, says Uwe Boll for president of Lucasfilm. Let's go. We'll get a campaign going. Hopefully we'll have more people sign that campaign than the petition to bring back the Acolyte. That'll be good. Mercenary says, and I just got Postal 4K for your comment, Lord Uwe.
I know. I did a new commentary for the.
Oh, nice. And Six Stringman came in and says, thanks for coming on, Uwe. Rampage is legit. There you go. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Uwe, we appreciate you coming on and joining us today, man. It's always a pleasure to pick your brain a little bit and get your thoughts on Hollywood and everything. And today's Star Wars was phenomenal. Thank you for that. That was really interesting to hear. I encourage everyone to go check out the latest release from Uwe Boll, available over on Amazon right now. It's called First Shift. You can find it once again on Amazon. You can rent it or buy it for as little as $6.99 over on Prime. It says releases October 31st, 2024. Is that when it's coming out, or is there a theatrical release for this? Or
that is the German release date, but in US it's already out. US and Canada, it's right now available.
All right. First Shift, a film by Uwe Boll. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, my friend. It's a pleasure to have you, and we'll see you soon, okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
All right, Uwe Boll, everybody. There we go. Let's go. What do you think of that, Razor?
That is a loud clap.
If the crowd will shut up.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to agree with him about Disney, and I haven't seen an interview from him in a while, so I didn't expect to be on the same wavelength.
He's a super base dude, to say the least. Right? It's pretty funny.
I need to see this refugee crisis movie. I've seen a lot of Uwe Boll movies. I did not know this existed. I'm gonna have to watch this.
Yeah.
This sounds based.
He is a lot of the work that he's done, his most recent films have been I wouldn't say political, but they tackle, as he says, real world issues. And it's, you know, I don't know, man. You know, it's interesting. As I was listening to a talk, I feel like we could launch a movie podcast with Uwe Boll. You just need somebody to.
After that talk, I'd let him direct Ghost of the Badlands movie any day.
Let's go. All right.
Nice.
Let's make it happen. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Can I cameo?
Sure.
Yes.
And bass player came in and says the Prince of Persia trilogy is on good old games for $10 a piece. Blabs, your homework is to play these games. There we go. Antihero came in and says, Razor, how many Germans does it take to change a light bulb? 1. We are efficient and not very funny. That's great. Also, Mercenary says, you forgot all the Tom Clancy movies James Earl Jones was in as the ambiguous government character. I cannot tell what agency he was in those movies. That's right. Just a dude.
The agency of James Earl Jones's rich baritone. His basso profundo.
Gross. Then we got Brett says, I more fondly remember James Earl Jones from Command and Conquer, Tiberian Sun.
Ah, yes.
Norm came in says, coming to America greater than Black Panther.
Yep. 100% agreed.
Dirtis King says James Earl Jones was also great in Hunt for the Red October, but Thulsa Doom was his best performance. Absolutely captivating. Thank you. And Mercenary KMX says, hello, fellow German Uwe. Sorry. Okay, I'm only half German. On my dad's side. Absolutely love Postal. Say what you will. I had fun with it and nonstop laughing. He was right, man. It is a very offensive film, and that's what makes it so great. So there you go. Mage says, wait, Uwe can't be German. His sense of humor is too strong. I love it. Love it. All right, let's get back to what we were talking about with the PlayStation 5. So they announced this
an hour later.
Right. We're circling it back. All right. By the way, if you guys like conversations like we had with Uwe Boll, right? Like that's what this is about, right? It's so fun to get a random Uwe Boll appearance on a Tuesday. Like that's funny stuff. So make sure you guys support the show, hit the thumbs up. And if you guys are new, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Once again, closing in on 100K. All right. So they announced the PlayStation 5 Pro today. And as we talked about earlier, there's this kind of like, blast processing type marketing here that's being thrown down here.
Super resolution.
That's right. Yes, spectral super resolution. I feel like if someone
Which is just there's what is that called? It's just the automatic setting that you can click where
Default?
on your graphics card where it automatically makes things look crappier if you need performance or better if you have a little bit more VRAM, right? Like I forget what that's called or whatever, but I try to avoid clicking it because usually it makes your game look like crap and run like crap too.
Well, the game as marketed by PlayStation says, witness their headline. The way they want to present this is welcome PlayStation 5 Pro, the most visually impressive way to play games on PlayStation, which, you would expect that to be. This is features including GPU upgrade, advanced ray tracing, and PlayStation's spectral super resolution.
Get to the $599 US. $599 US.
Actually, no, it's
hold
higher.
on.
Not higher.
What?
$599 was your guess, Razor?
Oh, no. I was just doing the PS3 meme.
Keep going. Keep going.
Did they announce a Ridge Racer too? Because if they did, I'll crap my culottes.
Along with the giant enemy crabs, Razor, you may shit at the price of this console.
Oh,
Please don't, though. That's gross.
The price of this console.
Oh dear.
At release, available this holiday season at a manufactured suggested retail price of $699.
What?
And that does not
high
include,
holy hell.
No,
that doesn't include the disc drive.
Yes, that's
the digital version?
Yeah.
That's the digital version.
That's the Series S of the...
Yeah. So let me just read this to you. So what you actually get, or it's right there, Craig. Good job, Craig. It says
Yes.
it will include a 2 terabyte SSD, a DualSense wireless controller, and a copy of Astro's Playroom pre-installed in every PlayStation 5 Pro purchase. PlayStation 5 is available as a disc-less console with the option to purchase the currently available disc drive for PlayStation 5 separately. And now what does that go for? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thing's gonna look like a 32X by the time we're all said and done.
Bro, I'll tell you exactly what this is. I have said it for a long time. Sony could package a box with a spring-loaded fist that pops out and punches you right in the cock. And as long as they had a PlayStation logo on the side, there's an appalling number of people who would buy it. They have recognized this fact, and they are exploiting that core audience exclusively. They know those people and those people alone will buy this, hence the premium price point. Those people will buy anything called PlayStation, so we're going to sell them the most expensive, premium, deluxe, fancy pants version edition possible. That's totally what this is.
Blabs, I see you have something queued up. What do we have over here?
Yeah, this is a great little meme. Concord. So it's basically PlayStation players just dying while, Nintendo and Steam are beautiful green grass. Yes.
What's it say on the left side? Oh, it says Concord.
It's Concord. So yeah, Concord is now offline. Then PlayStation 5 Pro, which by the way, pre-orders are at the end of this month, and then it's released in November, and starting at $700. Woohoo! But yeah. I really want to hear all the Sony ponies go on and be like, it's less expensive to buy a PlayStation than it is to buy a computer and play games.
It's not!
Not anymore.
It's not! You could get an $800 PC with a newer graphics card already in it, and you would get better performance than this and, be able to do whatever, edit videos and whatever else you do on a computer. Please don't answer that question. But yeah,
it's insane what they're trying to do.
Well, we do have some gameplay, Razor. If you'd like to see how good the PlayStation 5 Pro looks compared to the regular PlayStation 5.
All right, I've already played PC. It's okay.
Would you like to see the comparison between the two?
Let's go right ahead. Sure.
Yeah. Let's check it out. Here it is, right here. This is the PlayStation 5 Pro.
What are they playing?
This is going to be Spider-Man.
Dana Carvey, ladies and gentlemen.
He is a lizard, guys. He is the lizard from Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man movie.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Mark Kern does look a lot like Dana Carvey.
He is.
That's it. Oh my gosh, yes. Sounds cool.
Am I turtley enough for the turtle club?
He looks like an old Garth. He really does.
He does.
Oh my gosh. Mark,
by the way, Dana Carvey and David Spade's podcast is really good.
Yeah.
Never watched it. It's actually really good.
Hey, I got to be honest. I would love to have any and all of them on the show.
Right.
Yeah, those guys would be awesome. So, okay, back to PlayStation 5 Pro here. Check it out, and we can see here it is right here, side by side action. On the left is your PlayStation 5 Pro or PlayStation 5. On the right, is
doing this on a pixelated YouTube video is not the greatest idea, but yeah.
Oh, well, okay. Well, either way,
I can see the difference. On the left, you have the patented Sony console blur filter, which has been on everything since the PS2.
Yeah. Well,
and on the right, you lose the blur filter. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And that's what you're paying $700 for. So,
like, it does look good, but sorry, no, not $700. No, not happening.
Well, so does the PlayStation 5.
I know, but like, here's the thing. Are we not in economic crisis? Who the fuck's going to spend $700 on a PlayStation 5 Pro?
I mean, I don't know.
Probably someone who pays for food with an EBT card, ironically.
Right.
Like, it just seems like in the past 24 hours, it's just like been technology announcements with Apple and Sony. It's like, who's going to buy this? Why?
Yeah.
Well,
people are starving.
I'll tell you what, my boy Destin Legary, an alumnus of Side Scrollers.
Yes.
My boy Destin. By the way, dude, like when you talk about normal men who have common sense, Destin Legary is the most common sense person in the video game industry that works in traditional media.
Yeah, took a job at IGN, but I don't hold that against him.
Right. And you know what? He's pretty high in IGN, right? Yeah. But either way, he had a poll out. And by the way, this is for everybody. And we're going to vote in this poll with this sock account that I have over on X. Okay. So
I'm sorry, what?
You're not, I don't think you're allowed to say that. I think that gets you banned.
A sock account?
Yeah, sock accounts are actually a bannable offense.
Okay, with this fake account, this alt account.
It's someone else's account.
It's an, I don't know, whatever. Okay, either way. His poll.
You have a dummy account?
No, I don't even know what this is, if I'm being totally honest with you.
How are you there?
Well, I'm logged in, but I didn't even know I had this account, if I'm being totally honest with you. But either way, was the PlayStation 5 Pro reveal $700 exciting or a dud for you? So chat, we will vote. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. This is my friend's account, by the way. Thank you for that, Cyber Chud.
Yeah.
Is this exciting or a dud? Razor, exciting or dud for the PlayStation 5 Pro at $700?
I mean, you got. Look, I'm not a Sony person at all. I hate them like poison, so I'm kind of the wrong guy to ask. But I will say, timing wise, not the best. They already announced PS5 is going to be winding down in the next couple of years. They said it was a financial failure. I think this is kind of an attempt to sort of drum up cash at the 11th hour. I think badly timed, not really launching with anything particularly compelling. If you're going to do something like this, come out with a new game that's going to move units. I go dud. I don't think it's well timed or very strategically wise either. Is this coming out this holiday?
Yeah, November.
Yes. Yeah. Labs, your thoughts on the PlayStation 5 Pro? Dud or exciting?
With that pricing, dud.
Okay. I agree, and I think the chat overwhelmingly agrees it's a dud. Let's just see what the results are of this poll here. We'll vote dud. Oh, wow. Razor's face.
Bitter beer face. Sorry.
Oh, boy. 89% say dud. That's not a good look right there.
They get the ointment. My God.
Wow.
You know, Sony's not doing very well. Concord last week, Sony PlayStation 5 Pro announcement this week.
Well, I mean, you can say that, but they're not sucking in a vacuum, no pun intended. Microsoft are just as bad off, if not worse.
Yeah. I'm not comparing them to anything, but like they're not doing the greatest with their announcements.
Really, Nintendo are the only of the three companies that are printing money. They're the only ones.
Right. Yeah. They seem to be just going and blowing right now. There are some good games that have been announced and that have been released, but for the most part, major L's along the way, man. It's been rough going in 2024. All right. Well, there you go.
Just do a little bit of a bounce on that. This was from IGN yesterday. Sony quietly increases the price of the PlayStation 5 DualSense controller worldwide. Just, right before they announced the PlayStation 5 Pro that also includes the DualSense controller.
Of course, they won't change the controller, which you sometimes do when you make a new console. You update the controller so that you can, address any complaints that your previous users might have had with it, which they often do.
So the price increase is $5. So you can get like the white ones or whatever from $74.99 to 16, or instead of which was originally $69.99 is now $74.99, or like the even cooler ones like Cobalt Blue and Volcanic Red were originally $74.99 and now they're $79.99. So they're that a jump already.
They found their whales and they're milking them Star Citizen style. That's what's going on here. That's what's going on. Because who's going to walk into a video game store and, hey, I haven't bought a PS5. I've been meaning to. Let's see. Shall I have this one over here that's $400 or $300, whatever it's knocked down to at GameStop? Or shall I have this freaking $700? What am I even looking at? Like, it's a pretty easy formulation there.
Yeah. I think you're right. They got the whales. They know they're going to suck some money out of them, and it'll be hundreds of millions of dollars. Oh, Blabs, look at that face.
I have news. You know that whole little Concord PlayStation controller?
Is this breaking news? Can I use the sounder?
Oh! No, it's not breaking news. Just it's not. You can no longer purchase the Concord Limited Edition DualSense wireless controller. It is currently unavailable.
Right. Well, I mean, we all saw that one coming from a mile away for sure. All right. Well, let's go and move on to our go ahead, Razor.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
Let's move on to our final story of the day, our lead story, and something that I think is actually, we talked about the wins and the losses of the video game industry this year, and Ubisoft has had quite the losses this year. In fact,
something I'm going to talk about in my upcoming video, actually.
Oh, good. Well, here's a little bit of ammo for you. As if you were to look at, and I'm sure you already know all this stuff, Razor. We encourage everyone to go check out Razor's channel and obviously his videos. But if you look at just this past year, exactly where Ubisoft is at from a company and where they started 1 year ago today, with their stock price in particular, they currently are sitting down 52% in their stock price over the last year. Currently sitting at $13.16. 1 year ago today, $27.81. Over half their valuation as a company has dropped in the last year. Now, this is very much reflective of even just in the last day. You know, they're dropping 3% the last week, 15% the last month, 21% the year, 50% the last 5 years, 81%. Right?
Balls. When does that slide really start? It looks like halfway through 2020 and 2021.
Well, they had their peak in 2018, right? And then, you know, obviously there was
what came out in 2018. I'm trying to one of the Assassin's Creeds.
I don't have that on hand immediately, but Blab, see if you can find the games released by Ubisoft.
Valhalla was 2021, 2020 or 2021, somewhere in there.
Well, you saw
Valhalla was 2020.
Okay, so 2018 is what we're looking for, Blabs. If there are any major announcements for Ubisoft, that would reflect that. Then we had the lockdowns. We'll find that in just a second.
2018 Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Okay, that makes sense. That was a huge hit.
So Odyssey's released, and they had a big old spike. Then we had the lockdown where everybody's inside playing video games, so their stock spikes. And then since then, it's seen a pretty dramatic drop.
That spike is pretty much right in line with Valhalla's release. Or no, that's January 2021. Yeah, no, actually, that is. Yeah, yes. January 2021. That would be right after it came out.
Okay, so we're looking at $94 in 2018, and then we have the COVID spike. Then it drops like pretty much like a rock, and it's at a low. I pointed this out the other day, Razor, but I want to point it out one more time. The current stock price is $13.16. If you would have bought it when it opened in 1996, you would have lost money,
right,
on your investment. Now, I'm sure there was a split.
If you invested $1, you have 2 dimes left, folks.
It has not gone very well. It's lost, 18% of its value over the last, almost 30 years. That has not gone very well. So much so that there was a Ubisoft investor call, and they are pissed at the current situation when it comes to Ubisoft. And this is from Sickly the Ninja over on X, talking about how the Ubisoft situation, like this company is in trouble, Razor. Yeah. So the Ubisoft situation has gotten far worse. Not only has their share price taken an epic nosedive in the past couple of days, but now their own investors are beginning to panic. AJ Investments is demanding in an open letter to Ubisoft's CEO that the company goes private, lowers their prices, and fires their staff in an attempt to save what dignity remains for their failing company. They question Ubisoft's integrity and cast doubt on their ability to give gamers what they want. Not looking good. You can see this is from the article itself, and here it is, the actual article or the actual letter themselves. The investor sets out 4 proposals to increase the value of Ubisoft for all stakeholders. They include allowing Ubisoft to go private, selling the company, changing current management, and ousting Guillemot, Yves Guillemot has been there for a long time as the
very
CEO.
long time, yeah.
Yes, and they even talked about starting a proxy fight for a hostile takeover. So
that I worry about, and I'll explain why in a minute.
Go ahead.
Well, a minority owner of them at about 15% and growing is Tencent, who is essentially an arm of the CCP. And I've explained before, and I'll explain in my upcoming video, China funds ESG to the tune of trillions every single year. They export it to the West, particularly to industries that they wish to subsume. Then they ban it at home so that their products, by contrast, seem more appealing. See the shitty Chinese monkey game. And then they can move into fields that they want to take over and take them over. And we're witnessing this in slow motion. If these numbers continue to plummet, mark my words, quote me on it, Tencent will invest even more. While everybody else is walking sideways away from Ubisoft, assuming they don't go private, Tencent will invest even more in Ubisoft. They could wind up being a majority owner, as they do in several companies. They own Funcom outright. Right. They own a bunch of different companies pretty much outright, and they're majority owners in a number of companies you'd be surprised about. Actually, you can see a lot of them if you go to their Wikipedia page even. So that's kind of what I worry about, is they're going to take over Ubisoft or use this as an opportunity to take over Ubisoft, the smartest course of action is to go private. That, to me, that's the wisest course of action.
Well, they continue here. This is also from Sickly the Ninja over on X. He says it gets even worse. AJ Investments plans to use the growing support of the remaining 70% of UB shareholders to oust the CEO and his family and gain full control of Ubisoft so they can sell it off. They show receipts in the letter of the Gaimon family using their amassed control to purposely sabotage potentially beneficial partnerships with other companies and further enrich themselves with help from Tencent. Funny enough, one of the companies blocked from such partnerships is Blackstone. So, yeah, man, this is a lot. This is a lot here, and the idea of going in and kind of taking this over. You know, I'm curious. This AJ Investments, Blab, see if you can do a little bit digging on AJ Investments. And,
just for the record, for those who doubt the $1 trillion spent in the West on ESG in the nation of China, according to data from Sintao Green Finance, by the end of third quarter 2023, China's ESG investment scale reached 33.06 trillion yuan, which is about $4.5 trillion US dollars, which is a record high, and that was a 35% increase from the previous year. Shove that in your pipe and smoke it, bitch.
Wow. That is that's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. They spend what they spend trillions funding in the West what they earnestly ban at home.
That is crazy to think about. This is, by the way, we're gonna have Kirsha on here in the next I think the next week or so. I think she's on the 17th or 19th, maybe next week. And she's been big on, obviously, you know, the rebranding. 26th, the rebranding of DEI, you know, with Bridge and the infiltration of pretty much exactly what Razor's talking about right here. It's crazy to think about. And then now this could potentially find its way into Ubisoft as well. And it already has.
It already is.
Right. It's already there.
That's probably why there are calls to go private. Honestly, is because they recognize that some of the minority ownership, like Tencent and other entities that are involved with the company, are pressuring them in this kind of slacktivist direction, and that it's not profitable. I would imagine there's probably some of that going on.
Blas, did you find anything about AJ Investments?
Other than no, not a whole lot, to be honest. Other than that, you know, crushing Ubisoft. That's like the main thing that pops up in the last 24 hours.
Right. The idea of a strategic and structural change. I think that anytime, if you were to look at just their stock price by itself, I don't understand how anybody cannot look at that and be like, yeah, something clearly needs to change. Clearly. You know, there are many CEOs who would have been canned by the time you got to right there, right? You know, from a drop of, you know, that much, let alone dropping to a potential, it's not an all-time low because they had an all-time low in 1999. But once again, we're talking about something that happened.
Oh, man, that was before Splinter Cell. That was before, dude. I mean, come on.
That was before Y2K, Razor.
Yeah. And dude, we just said Splinter Cell. You want to know one big reason why you're failing? I just listed off one of your most important and successful franchises. When was the last time you made a game in that series? 2012, 2011, something like that. Like, there's so many dormant Ubisoft series. Rayman, for crying out loud. Some of your biggest franchises are just sitting collecting dust on a shelf while you virtue signal with garbage like Assassin's Creed Shadows.
I think of man, that was like their low point. The last time we saw something this low was before I graduated high school, and I'm old as shit, right? You know, so I'm just throwing
that was before I was even in high school.
Right. That's crazy to think about. And just a quick glance. Obviously, you talk about the Tom Clancy games, Rainbow Six, Splinter Cell, Rayman. I'm just looking at a quick glance, going through Heroes. Golly, they did a Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon game for the GameCube. Alien vs. Predator for the GBA, but Just Dance, Prince of Persia, Watch Dogs, Trackmania Trials. Trials was super fun. The Crew, you know, they had some pretty notable franchises along the way. I've said this many times, but I very much think that what's going to happen is they're going to end up selling off their franchises and trying to remain a company. And I think that
shrinking way down and getting gobbled up by somebody seems like the most. I mean, there's been talk over the last several years of Microsoft eyeballing them really hard.
Yeah.
Right. When Microsoft was in that really acquisitive phase. Who knows if Microsoft would be now, though? You look at all the studios they bought, and almost instantly Arcane shit their pants and smeared it on all over every available surface in the house, right? Like they had to close Arcane Austin. So it's not exactly panning out for them.
I don't think Microsoft has any. I mean, they'd buy them on the cheap, right? But at the same time, like they own so much. They own so many major properties. Do they really need to have Ubisoft in their portfolio?
Yeah.
I think Sony would be willing to pay more than Microsoft would, because you know, you look at their first party titles and you're like, ah. And I think the only thing Nintendo would be interested in is Rayman, because I think it aligns well with, you know, or the Rabbids series, Rayman and the Rabbids. I think that aligns with their cartoony, family-friendly nature. So, man, there we go. Wow. I guess we'll see what happens, as always, when it comes to this. And question for anybody in the chat: are you a stockholder of Ubisoft? It goes back to:
do you need to talk to somebody?
I don't think they're going to admit that one, Craig.
Are you threatening to harm yourself or others? Are there any sharp objects within reach?
The original letter they have, I mean, they're right. They said the Ubisoft evaluation: we believe Ubisoft is a great undervalued company that should be worth 40 to 50 euros per share. It's worth 13 right now. A third of less than a third, 25% of what they think it should be valued at. If that's the case, everybody should go in and buy and triple your money. It's a better investment than Concord, my friends. Let's go. So. All right. Tell you what, you guys have been great today. It's always fun on Tuesdays, and today was quite the adventure. There's always so much to hit on, but we're running up on it already. Let's get to some super chats and some support. Razor, I mentioned this earlier. I'm gonna give you a chance to bounce here in just a second. Mm-hmm. But over on sidescrollerspodcast.com for supporters, we have announced that this new documentary Golden Era will be available. It is a documentary about the development of GoldenEye 007. Do you have any fond memories of GoldenEye, Razor?
Tons, man. It was the perennial kind of, you know, sleepover birthday party game, all-nighter game. I mean, I had youth group functions at church where you would literally, everyone was playing GoldenEye on a Nintendo 64 in one of the side rooms. Like, it was ubiquitous at that time. It was the first kind of, you already had Doom, you had Unreal Tournament and stuff like that had come along that was on the PC side, had given people kind of a multiplayer shooter experience. GoldenEye was the game that kind of made that a broad audience. It inculcated people not only into multiplayer shooters, but into shooters, full stop. It did the same thing for shooters that Wolfenstein did. So and it's still a great game. I mean, it's an innovative title in the realm of stealth. There were entire missions you could sneak around in, all kinds of stuff. It's a visionary game, and it holds up.
Well, I'll tell you what. So we have this documentary, Golden Era, which is going to be available on sidescrollerspodcast.com is included in as people's memberships. It's a great way to support us, and it's a great way to support what we have going on over here at Side Scrollers. And we just want to add a little bit extra value. I'm going to run the trailer for that in a second. Then we're going to come back with super chats. But before we do, Razor, how about I give you an opportunity to say au revoir?
Okay. I'm not going to say it in faggy surrender language, but ladies and gentlemen, there will be a couple of videos coming out either today or tomorrow. I might be streaming the debate tonight, so you might want to show up for that live roast. But until next time, thank you for having me, and Godspeed.
To be clear, Razor, au revoir, that's from, I use that from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, where she goes, au revoir, Pee-wee, au revoir. Do you remember that at the end of that movie?
No.
Okay, we'll see you later. See you Tuesday.
So long, folks.
All right, man. Oh, man. A good old Pee-wee's Big Adventure reference. All right. So once again, here is the trailer for Golden Era. It will be available on sidescrollerspodcast.com starting this coming Monday, exclusively to supporters. Watch this trailer. If you're a fan of GoldenEye, you definitely want to check this documentary out. Once again, I'll give you a promo code in just a second so you can go sign up.
So in the 90s, we saw a lot of innovation. It was kind of this Wild West.
First-person shooters were really this PC elite genre.
As great and pivotal as games like Doom and Wolfenstein were, they were simplistic.
We went from a niche genre to the biggest genre in gaming.
One of the most influential games of all time.
We thought the game was going to be really bad. And I'd had a bad day, and I kind of thought, well, yeah, screw it, I'll apply for this.
I couldn't believe it. So it's like, first job, it's like, I'm going to get paid for this?
It was all a lot of, let's just figure this out and be as good as we can be.
The mechanics of GoldenEye changed everything. No one's had that stealth thing before where you make a lot of noise, the guys are here and come and get you.
I started building the dam without any real technical knowledge, so I was just making a dam.
The movie license done by a small team of inexperienced developers and somehow ended up being, the greatest first-person shooter of its era.
There were a lot of ambitious, creative UK developers trying to push the bounds of this new 3D world and what we could do with it.
We've seen some of the big publishers coming in and scooping up some of the smaller developers.
I remember saying to the team, it's all downhill from here.
It doesn't take very much to knock out an independent games company.
As the industry has grown bigger, you very much become a piece of the machine. You become a cog in the machine.
Almost every publisher we worked with, there was some degree of conflict, and that took us down in the end.
Winner in the games category is GoldenEye 007.
This is one of the best video games of all time.
This is a good one.
GoldenEye, to me, is why I make games.
That genre has persisted and became kind of like the defining genre.
Halo, Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, Battlefield, all of that goes back to GoldenEye.
The reality is this game broke a lot of new ground. There's before GoldenEye, there's after GoldenEye.
GoldenEye 007 not only defined a generation, but defied all expectation.
Golden Era will be available starting this coming Monday over at sidescrollerspodcast.com. Once again, I encourage you guys to head over there. It's a great way to support us and what we have going on over here as we think big. Use promo code GOLDEN for $27 off your annual membership at sidescrollerspodcast.com. There will be more, and your annual membership will all go towards development of future amazing programming like that. So appreciate you guys and your support. All right, Blabs, speaking of support, let's get to your support.
Okie dokies. Over on Locals, Felsteph sent a $1 tip saying Craig with his copies of Concord after stream, and it's the gift of GOM. My precious. Thank you. Spin Ninja for $1 says it's agreed on Locals. Echo was good. And then followed up again saying, I think the age of the movie star is gone forever, and that may be a good thing. Yeah, I also think the whole internet thing with people having social media accounts kind of ruined that too. Absolutely. Rudy says, please clip Blab saying that is cool, dude. I don't remember when that was. Nick Miller says, for the Blab's office space viewing, fund George Michael. Dan Rivers says, PS5 looks interesting, but the console and the disc drive is going to get scalped hard. Yeah, I saw this thing just to bounce off again on Twitter that they were saying, like, you're not even paying a $200 upgrade. You're buying an entire new console. It's like, yeah, insane. Anyway, Jason says, in honor of James Earl Jones, Blab should watch Conan the Barbarian. Mercenary says, please, Michael Jackson being killed is as believable as the flat earth other guy on the other had was recorded getting turned into street pizza. Okay, thanks, Mercenary. Eliane says, rip James Earl Jones, Mufasa and Vader, legend. Janice says, side scrolls are getting close to the silver play button. Let's go.
Closing in.
Mercenary says, is that dance on McCain's grave a river dance? As he says, Blobs is required to watch Conan the Barbarian now. Do it for James Earl Jones. Mercenary says, Blobs is forgiven for Echo. I have Dream and PlayStation 2. Echo was great, says Wolf and Wing. Look at that, Craig. Taking an L.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Orthodox Monk says, Craig drops the ball this time on this day in gaming history.
Hey,
Echo
listen.
the Dolphin is
No.
awesome. The worthy one. Echo is not bad. Craig, you just hate water levels. I remember you hate them so much you made a whole top 10 list on Screw Attack.
It's true, I did.
Kyle says, George Michael's passed on Christmas 2016. Truly was his last Christmas. Last Christmas I gave you my heart, but the very next day. Okay, I'll stop. Damn, 2016 was rough. George Michael, Carrie Fisher, and Carrie Fisher's mother, whose name, Debbie Reynolds, her name was, right? Something like that. Something Reynolds. His name escapes me. Yeah, they all died. Rough. Commodore fan says, nope to PlayStation 5 Pro with $700. Get the fuck out of here. Ghost Tech says, there are probably so many IPs from PlayStation 2 era that Sony's sitting on. It's odd they starved for a decent lineup. As he says, look at this tech with no games.
Yep.
Yeah. Kyle Denson says, Sony's saying advanced retracing sounds like Mr. Krabs when he was justifying the higher priced $101 Krabby Patty when he told Squidward with cheese, Mr. Squidward with cheese. And then Mr. Melancholy says, a team is not a team if you don't give a damn about one another. Couch Frank Cuso, the best of the best. Thank you, Mr. Jones, for the memory. Norm says, and Sony wonders why Nintendo's slapping the snot out of them on consoles. Oh, that's a disgusting way. Mercenary says, dude, the PlayStation Pro is $800. I need to sell my firstborn in a loan agreement to get one. Hard pass. Oh yeah, you gotta think of tax, so it's almost like $800. Not gonna buy the PlayStation 5 Pro, but to be fair, my 3080 alone costs as much as the PlayStation 5 Pro. Not sure why they're marketing this for. Wouldn't enthusiasts want a disc drive and box? Just silly. PlayStation 5 price drop when? Eventually. Abdulio says PlayStation 5 Pro is like their own Sega 32X.
Right. You too can connect. Yeah, right. Go ahead.
Written Soul says it's not the issue of sale, it's the restock issue. Masagawa says, as a lifelong Sony fan, I may be done with them after this gen. Sony died when they shifted HQ to California. Sony has been a walking corpse then. And then Anti-Woke Academy for Arts and Sciences says Ubisoft has lost way more considering inflation.
Yeah, that's true. It was not even brought up when we talked about that earlier, which is silly to think about. Lord of the Ree came in with over on Rumble, says, fuck a PlayStation 5 Pro. I've been playing GameCube games again, and those Super Mario Sunshine games are goated as of AF. Hell Side Stroller smashed the Rumble Blussy, and God bless America. Hey, thanks, Lord of the Ree. Bronsonite says Elon should buy Ubisoft at fire sale prices. Twitter it, fire 80% of the assholes, and fix it. There you go, Bronsonite. I like how you're thinking right here. That's good. Delta came in, says, I am fascinated to know how well the PlayStation 5 Pro will sell at a whopping $800 if you wanted physical media. But my biggest fear is the machine learning. Razor plays PC games. He probably knows how unoptimized games are already. CG Hero says, looking forward to the GoldenEye doc next week. Would you consider doing a follow-up on their sequel game or the Time Splitter series? CG Hero, I'm already working on stuff, baby. God damn it, I want a new name with a $25 direct donation. Thank you very much for that. It says, let me say this. All those video game movies from the 2000s, awful. Every single one. But my friends and I bought them on a disc and watch on repeat. Having a blast. Those were some of my fondest memories. No sarcasm here. Let's go. Thank you, God damn it, I want a new name. Jack the Outcast says, Hail Side Strollers on the Razor Force. Finished stalking Clear Sky. Now I'm work on the final game of the trilogy called the Prairie Cat. Wish me luck, fellow stalkers, and Godspeed to James or to George Earl Jones. Okay, all right. Kalichioki says, You know where the price point for the PlayStation 5 Pro comes from? Sony is trying to offset the losses on Concord. Oh, that's interesting. For what it looks like, the Pro is offering very little compared to the regular PlayStation 5. Those specs are going to go over most customers' heads. I agree. Delta says, I like the interview with Uwe. For some reason, I thought it would just be promotion for his Postal 2 Kickstarter, him speaking about the Auschwitz film and how the industry has a weird everything needs to be romantic and full of drama strikes true. And he followed up one more time, says, there was a very confusing and weird animated indie film some friends and I were watching about the imaginary friend. Okay. All right. We'll just, Delta, thank you for that. All right. I don't want to get demonetized over here on YouTube for that. Okay. There we go, guys. Thank you very much for your support today. We genuinely appreciate it. We're back tomorrow, Wednesday, with our boy Arch back at it again. It's going to be a great one. As always, I'm sure we'll get more fallout from the PlayStation 5 fun. I appreciate you guys hopping in, allowing us to be a part of your life, and you being a part of ours, and vice versa. So with that said, guys, have a great rest of your day. Remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. We'll see you guys later. Head over to sidescrollerspodcast.com right now. Become a member. Best way to support us. Use promo code GOLDEN. Have a good day, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.
Fatality.